Imagine holding a tiny piece of history in your hand, a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that it could turn an ordinary collector into an instant millionaire. Imagine reaching into a dusty jar of old coins, the same jar that has been sitting quietly on a shelf for years, and discovering that one tiny copper penny could quietly be worth a fortune. Not a few dollars. Not even a few hundred. But the kind of money that makes people stop and stare. Today we are talking about one particular coin that has sparked excitement among collectors across America, the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark. A coin so ordinary at first glance that millions of people overlook it every single day. But what if the one hiding in your pocket change right now is the rare variety collectors are hunting for? What if the coin you once ignored could actually be the one that changes your financial story? Think about it for a moment. Every year millions of Americans handle pennies without ever looking closely. They pass through gas stations, grocery stores, and coffee shops. They sit in jars, drawers, and piggy banks. Yet hidden among them are coins with unusual errors, rare strikes, or unique characteristics that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. And the 1971 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has become one of those coins that sparks curiosity, excitement, and sometimes even disbelief. Before we dive deeper, ask yourself something honestly. When was the last time you actually examined the pennies in your pocket? Have you ever wondered whether the change you receive every day could secretly hold a rare coin worth thousands of dollars? Many people never ask that question. But the people who do are the ones who occasionally make astonishing discoveries. The story of the 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny begins during a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies every year. Most of these coins were struck in large quantities at different mints. But pennies produced in Philadelphia during that era often carried no mint mark at all. To the average person that might sound completely ordinary. Yet within these massive productions, tiny minting mistakes and unusual die varieties sometimes slip through the process. Collectors call these mistakes coin errors, and some of them can turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into something extraordinary. On certain 1971 pennies, specialists have discovered unusual doubling in the design, striking anomalies, and rare die characteristics that make collectors pause and look twice. Suddenly the penny that looked like pocket change becomes a conversation piece in coin auctions and collector forums. Now imagine the moment when someone first notices something unusual on a coin. Maybe the lettering looks slightly doubled. Maybe the date appears thicker than normal. Maybe the surface reflects light in a strange way. That moment of curiosity can quickly turn into excitement. Because experienced collectors know that sometimes those tiny details are exactly what turns a 1-cent coin into a highly demanded collectible. But here is where things become even more interesting. Many viewers often ask questions like these. How do I sell old rare coins? How does someone actually start selling coins in the United States? Can pocket change really turn into serious money? And perhaps the biggest question of all, how can someone transform ordinary coins into life-changing opportunities? These questions appear again and again among people who discover unusual coins. The truth is that the coin collecting market in the United States is massive. Auction houses, coin dealers, collectors, and investors are constantly searching for rare varieties. And when a coin with a fascinating error or exceptional condition appears, demand can grow surprisingly fast. Picture an auction room for a moment. The lights are bright, the audience is focused, and collectors from around the country are waiting for the next rare coin to appear. When a highly sought-after penny enters the spotlight, the room suddenly becomes alive with energy. Bidding paddles rise. Voices call out new numbers. Prices climb quickly. What started as a tiny copper coin suddenly becomes the center of attention. Now pause for a second and ask yourself another question. Could the next rare coin to appear in an auction come from a jar in someone's kitchen? Could it come from a coin collection stored in a family drawer for decades? The answer might surprise you, because many valuable coins were discovered exactly that way, and here is a humorous thought that collectors often joke about. The most valuable coins sometimes hide in the least glamorous places. Not in a museum display case. Not in a luxury safe. but in a coffee can under the sink or a forgotten jar of change sitting on top of the refrigerator. Funny, right? Yet stories like that appear again and again in the world of coin collecting. The 1971 Lincoln penny continues to attract attention because collectors understand that certain varieties and conditions can command impressive prices in the market. Coins that show unusual errors, strong details, and exceptional preservation can stand out dramatically from ordinary circulation coins. So if you are watching this and wondering whether your own pennies might hold hidden value, you are not alone. Thousands of Americans search through their coins every day with that exact curiosity. They ask how to sell old coins. They ask how to identify rare pennies. They ask where to sell rare coins in the United States and how auctions determine the value of a coin. The process usually begins with careful observation. Coin collectors study details like the date, the design, and the condition of a coin. They look for anything unusual. If something stands out, the next step often involves professional grading or expert evaluation. That is where auction houses and coin dealers can step in to determine whether a coin has collectible value. Imagine the feeling of handing a coin to an expert and hearing them say that it is not just another penny. That it is actually a rare collectible that collectors would compete to own. That moment alone can feel like discovering hidden treasure in plain sight, but let us bring this story together. The message behind coins like the 1971 Lincoln penny is not only about money. It is about awareness. It is about curiosity. It is about realizing that sometimes opportunities are hidden inside everyday objects that people ignore. So the next time you receive change at a store, pause for a moment. Look closely at the pennies. Examine the date. Notice the details of Abraham Lincoln's portrait. Imagine reaching into an old drawer, a forgotten jar, or even the loose change in your pocket, and discovering that one tiny copper coin could quietly be worth a life-changing fortune. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But across the United States, collectors and everyday people have made astonishing discoveries hiding in plain sight. Today we're talking about one coin that has captured the attention of serious collectors and auction houses alike, the 1964 Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin that millions of Americans once carried in their pockets, yet a rare era version of this humble penny could be worth an extraordinary amount of money. The question is simple, but powerful. What if one of these coins is already sitting in your home right now? Before we go further, ask yourself something honestly. When was the last time you really looked at your old pennies? Most people treat them like they are worthless. They toss them in jars, drawers, cup holders, and dusty piggy banks. Yet coin experts know a secret the public often ignores: sometimes the smallest coin hides the biggest opportunity. The 1964 Denver Mint Lincoln penny was produced during a fascinating time in American coin history. Millions were struck that year at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark beneath the date. But here's where the story becomes exciting. Among those ordinary pennies, a tiny number were struck with unusual minting errors that transformed them from everyday pocket change into highly sought-after collectibles. Now imagine the moment a collector flips over a penny and notices something strange. The lettering looks doubled. The design appears slightly misaligned. Or the metal surface shows a rare minting anomaly. These are not damages from circulation. These are mint errors created during production. And collectors absolutely love them. Why? Because mint errors are rare accidents that cannot be recreated. When rarity meets demand, value can explode. Let's talk about the power of rarity for a moment. Coin collectors across America spend years hunting for specific coins. The Lincoln Cent series alone is one of the most widely collected in the country. Ever since the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the penny in 1909, collectors have searched for unusual varieties and mint errors. The 1964 D penny might seem common at first glance, but certain error examples have attracted serious attention at auctions and private sales, and here's the part that should make you pause. Some error pennies from the 1960s have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands, depending on condition and rarity. Imagine the excitement of discovering that a coin you once ignored could actually fund a vacation, pay off debts, or completely transform your finances. It almost sounds like a treasure hunt hiding inside everyday life, but let me ask you something important. If you suddenly found a rare coin like this, would you know what to do next? Would you know how to sell old rare coins? Would you know where collectors gather? Would you know how coins move from a simple pocket discovery to high-value auction pieces? This is where many people miss their opportunity. They find an interesting coin, but they don't know how to unlock its true value. Some people accidentally sell rare coins for just a few dollars at flea markets. Others store them away for years without realizing their potential. The truth is that the rare coin market in the United States is a thriving ecosystem of collectors, grading services, and professional auctions. When collectors search for coins like the 1964 Lincoln penny error, they look for specific characteristics. Sharp details. Clear mint marks. Unusual doubling or striking mistakes. And most importantly, condition. A well-preserved coin can multiply its value dramatically. That's why serious collectors often send coins to professional grading services before selling them. Once authenticated and graded, the coin enters a completely different market, the high-end collector world. Now imagine a scenario. A retired couple cleaning their attic finds an old coffee tin filled with pennies from the 1960s. At first it seems like nothing special. But curiosity leads them to examine the coins more closely. One penny looks different. The date appears slightly doubled, and the mint mark is unusually positioned. They send it for professional grading. Weeks later the results arrive. The coin is confirmed as a rare mint error. Suddenly the ordinary becomes extraordinary, collectors begin showing interest. Auction houses recognize its rarity. And what started as pocket change becomes a prized collectible competing for attention among serious buyers. But here's a question I want you to think about right now. How many coins are sitting in jars across America at this very moment? How many drawers, piggy banks, or inherited coin boxes have never been checked carefully? Could one of them contain a hidden treasure? This is where excitement meets urgency. Because the reality is simple. Valuable coins are discovered every single year by ordinary people. Not by professional treasure hunters. Not by museum curators. By everyday individuals who simply decided to look closely. And if you're wondering how to make money from coins, the process often starts with something surprisingly simple: awareness. Awareness that certain coins are valuable. Awareness that mint errors can multiply value dramatically. Awareness that collectors are actively searching for these pieces. Now think about this. Have you ever asked yourself how to sell old and rare coins in the United States? The answer involves several trusted paths. Some collectors sell through professional coin dealers. Others choose major auction houses where rare coins can attract competitive bidding from collectors worldwide. Some even attend coin shows where dealers actively purchase rare pieces, but the most important step always comes first. Identification, because without knowing what you have, you can't unlock its true value. The 1964 Lincoln penny reminds us of something powerful. Wealth doesn't always appear in obvious places. Sometimes it hides in the smallest and most overlooked objects of everyday life. A single penny might seem insignificant, yet history has shown again and again that rare coins can carry extraordinary stories and extraordinary value. So let me ask you another question. What if tonight you opened that old jar of pennies sitting in your kitchen cabinet? What if you carefully examined each coin under a light? What if one small detail looked unusual? Would you recognize the opportunity? Collectors often say the rare coin market is part history, part detective work, and part treasure hunt. And the thrill of discovery is what keeps millions of enthusiasts searching through old coins every day. As we reach the end of this story, everything connects back to one simple idea. Opportunity favors the curious. The people who look closer. The people who ask questions. The people who refuse to assume that something small must also be worthless. Because sometimes the difference between a 1-cent coin and a life-changing collectible is just one tiny minting error. So the next time you see a penny, don't ignore it. Turn it over. Look at the date. Check the mint mark. Ask yourself the questions collectors ask every day. Could this be rare? Could this be valuable? Could this be the coin that changes everything? Imagine reaching into a dusty jar of old coins, the kind that has been sitting on a shelf for decades, and discovering that one small copper penny could change your financial future. It sounds unbelievable, yet stories like this happen more often than most people realize. Across the United States, collectors and investors are constantly searching for rare coins hiding in plain sight. And among these hidden treasures, one particular coin has captured serious attention in the numismatic world, the 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. Before you dismiss the idea, let me ask you something important. When was the last time you looked closely at the pennies in your pocket change? What if one of those simple coins could be worth thousands, or even more in the right market? For many Americans between the ages of 30 and 65, old coins stored in drawers, piggy banks, or inherited collections have quietly become unexpected financial assets. And the fascinating story of the 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny might inspire you to start looking today. The story begins in the early 1970s at the historic United States Mint facility in Denver. Millions of pennies were produced that year, each stamped with the small D mint mark indicating its origin. Most of these coins circulated normally and still appear in pocket change even today. But during the manufacturing process, small mistakes sometimes occur. In the world of coin collecting, these mistakes are not problems, they are opportunities. Imagine a tiny misalignment in the die, a striking error, or a subtle flaw in the design. To an everyday spender, it may look like an ordinary penny. But to experienced collectors and auction houses, that small difference can turn a common coin into a highly demanded rarity. The 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny is known among collectors for certain error varieties that dramatically increase its value, and when these rare examples appear in top condition, the excitement in the market can be extraordinary. Now pause for a moment and think about this question. Could one of these rare coins be sitting in your home right now? Maybe in an old coffee can filled with change, or inside a collection that belonged to a parent or grandparent. Many people overlook pennies because they seem insignificant. Yet history has proven again and again that small coins sometimes carry massive hidden value. This is where curiosity turns into opportunity. When collectors analyze the 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny, they look for specific characteristics. They examine the sharpness of the design, the clarity of the mint mark, and any unusual marks created during the minting process. Even a slight doubling in the lettering or a striking anomaly can transform the coin's desirability, and here is something that often surprises beginners. Condition matters enormously. A coin that looks bright, clean, and well preserved can multiply its value dramatically. That is why professional grading services associated with the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Company play such an important role in the rare coin market. These organizations authenticate coins, evaluate their condition, and assign official grades that collectors trust worldwide. But let's take a quick moment to reset your attention with a thought that might make you smile. Imagine paying for a cup of coffee with a penny that could actually buy the entire coffee shop. Sounds crazy, right? Yet that is exactly the kind of surprising reality that makes coin collecting so fascinating. The second act of this story is about discovery. Across the United States, countless collectors search through rolls of pennies every day. Some visit banks and request boxes of coins. Others examine the change they receive from grocery stores or gas stations. Why? Because history has shown that rare coins sometimes appear in the most ordinary places. You might be wondering right now, how do people actually make money from coins? How do they turn pocket change into something meaningful? The answer begins with knowledge and awareness. When you learn which coins are valuable and why collectors demand them, you begin to see ordinary coins in a completely different way. Many viewers ask questions like these. How do I sell old rare coins? How does selling coins actually work in the United States? Where can someone go if they discover a valuable penny like the 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny? And perhaps the most exciting question of all, is it truly possible to turn pocket change into thousands of dollars? The answer is yes, and it happens through established marketplaces where collectors compete to obtain rare pieces. Major auction companies, online platforms, and specialized coin dealers operate across the country. When a rare coin appears with strong demand from collectors, bidding competition can drive prices far beyond expectations. Imagine the excitement inside a coin auction room when a rare penny is presented. Experts lean forward, bidders raise their paddles, and the price climbs steadily. What began decades ago as a simple copper coin suddenly becomes the center of intense attention. This is the power of rarity combined with collector demand. Now here comes an important moment in our story. If you ever believe you have discovered a rare coin, the smartest first step is verification. Experienced collectors always recommend authentication through professional grading services. This ensures that the coin's rarity and condition are properly recognized before entering the market. And let me ask you another question that many viewers are thinking right now. Have you ever inherited a jar of coins or an old collection that you never examined carefully? Sometimes families pass down small collections without realizing their potential value. Hidden within those coins might be rare varieties waiting to be rediscovered. The final act of our journey brings everything together. The story of the 1973 Lincoln 1-cent penny reminds us that extraordinary opportunities can hide inside ordinary objects. A simple penny produced more than 50 years ago may hold historical significance, collector interest, and surprising financial value, but the real message goes beyond a single coin. It is about awareness. It is about curiosity. It is about understanding that valuable items sometimes sit quietly in our homes while we overlook them every day. The people who succeed in the coin market are not always professional dealers. Often they are ordinary individuals who took the time to look closely at what others ignored. So the next time you receive change from a store, pause for a moment before dropping those coins into a jar. Ask yourself a simple question. Could one of these coins be a hidden treasure? Could this small piece of copper carry a story that collectors are eager to own? And if you are wondering how to start, begin with a simple habit. Examine your coins carefully. Learn about mint marks, rare errors, and historical varieties. Ask questions, research values, and connect with trusted dealers or auction houses if you believe you have found something special, because sometimes the path from pocket change to financial opportunity begins with a single penny, a penny that most people would never look at twice. Yet for those who pay attention, the journey of discovery can be incredibly rewarding. So tonight, open that old jar of coins. Look closely at every penny. And who knows? The next incredible discovery in the world of coin collecting might already be sitting in your hands, quietly waiting to change your story. Imagine reaching into your pocket, digging through your everyday change, and stumbling upon a tiny coin that could instantly change your life. That humble penny, so common, so ordinary, might just be the key to a fortune you never dreamed possible. Today, we're diving deep into the world of rare coins, and specifically, the remarkable 1986 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark error, a coin so rare, so sought after, that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. Could the coins in your pocket secretly hold unimaginable wealth? How do you turn those pocket changes into a story of millions? Let's find out. The first act of our journey begins with understanding why this coin is so extraordinary. The 1986 Lincoln cent is a coin that, to most, appears perfectly ordinary, a familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, small, copper, easily overlooked. But here's where it gets fascinating. Some 1986 pennies were struck without a mint mark, an anomaly that should have been impossible. Mint marks, those tiny letters denoting where a coin was produced, are critical identifiers. Their absence turns an everyday coin into a rare gem. Imagine walking through your kitchen, picking up a penny from the counter, and realizing that you're holding a piece of numismatic history worth far more than its 1-cent face value. Can you feel the excitement? That rush of discovery is exactly why collectors and investors alike are scrambling to find these coins, but here's the twist: finding one is just the beginning. This is where the fear factor sets in. What if you unknowingly toss it into a jar with all your other change? What if it slips through your fingers, lost forever? The 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is rare, but it's not impossible to find. In fact, thousands of coins minted that year went into circulation, meaning the opportunity is still out there for sharp-eyed collectors like you. Could the very coins you've overlooked for years be the stepping stones to a wealthy lifestyle? And more importantly, do you know how to recognize it before it's gone? Now, imagine this: you have the coin in your hand. You've held it, examined it, and suddenly the questions start pouring in. How do you sell such a coin? Where do you get the best value? Could an auction house turn this small piece of copper into a fortune? How do you navigate the sometimes intimidating world of rare coin sales, from grading to authentication, to ensure you get every dollar you deserve? These questions are exactly what separates casual coin holders from savvy investors. And the answer is simple: knowledge, timing, and strategy. At this point, you might be thinking, wait a minute, how can a single penny be worth millions? And that's a valid reaction. Most people would laugh at the thought, maybe even make a joke: I should have kept my lunch money from 1986. But the reality is far from humorous. This coin, properly authenticated and in pristine condition, can command astonishing prices at auction. We're talking about numbers that can transform lives, figures that can turn everyday Americans into millionaires overnight. From pocket change to a lifestyle of wealth, this is the kind of opportunity that demands attention. Are you ready to see your coins in a whole new light? The second act of our story delves into the market itself. The 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent isn't just a curiosity, it's a high-demand collectible. Collectors across the United States and even internationally are on the lookout for these rare pieces. Every time a coin like this appears on the market, bidding wars erupt. Auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers have documented sales of similar rare pennies fetching jaw-dropping sums. The key is understanding how to position your coin for maximum value. Should you sell to a private collector, or list it at a major auction? How do you prepare the coin to attract top-tier buyers? What grading system guarantees that your coin's value is recognized and respected? These are the questions that can make or break a lucrative sale. And here's another twist: did you know that many people unknowingly possess coins like this in jars, drawers, or old wallets? The very change you've tossed aside for decades could be hiding a treasure. That realization is thrilling and urgent. It's a wake-up call: check your coins, don't delay, and know that time can make a difference in value. Some collectors have turned entire attic searches into multi-million-dollar discoveries. Could the next millionaire be right here, watching this video, holding the coin that changes everything? That's the power of understanding rarity and demand. The third act brings us to action, inspiration, and connection. Now that you know the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent exists, that it's valuable, and that it's in demand, the question is, what will you do next? Will you simply let it sit in your pocket, or will you take steps to transform it into a life-altering asset? Selling a rare coin isn't complicated if you approach it strategically. First, authenticate your coin. Grading it professionally establishes trust and maximizes its appeal. Then, connect with trusted buyers or reputable auction houses. How do you find them? How do you know which sale avenue ensures top dollar? These are questions every serious coin holder must ask. Think about this: every auction has stories of ordinary Americans walking in with what they thought was just spare change, only to leave with unimaginable wealth. A humble 1986 Lincoln penny has created millionaires, changed retirement plans, and fulfilled lifelong dreams. And it's not just about money, it's about recognition, prestige, and being part of a storied collector's history. Imagine your coin displayed in a high-profile auction, admired by enthusiasts, and fetching a price you once thought impossible. How incredible would that feel? The blend of excitement, urgency, and empowerment is why collectors chase these rare finds relentlessly. Now, you might be wondering, could I really make this happen with coins I have lying around? The answer is yes. The pathway is clear: examine, authenticate, and strategically market. From pocket change to millions, it's a journey that requires attention to detail, patience, and courage. Ask yourself, how do I ensure I'm selling at the right time? How do I find serious buyers who recognize true value? What secrets do top collectors know that most people overlook? Each question guides you closer to turning ordinary coins into extraordinary wealth. Let's connect the dots. The rarity of the 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent, the high demand in the collector market, the strategies for selling, and the possibility of life-changing wealth, they all converge here, in this moment. That simple coin, seemingly insignificant for decades, holds the potential to elevate your financial future. And as you hold or search for such coins, remember this: opportunity doesn't wait. Those who act, those who educate themselves, and those who understand the value of their collectibles are the ones who succeed. Will you be one of them? In conclusion, the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than a coin, it's a symbol of possibility, an emblem of rare opportunity, and a testament to the idea that wealth can come from the most unexpected places. By recognizing its rarity, understanding the market, and taking strategic action, you could unlock a financial treasure hidden in plain sight. So, take a moment, look through your coins, question what might be extraordinary among the ordinary, and consider this: what if the penny in your hand today is worth more than you ever imagined? The path from ordinary change to extraordinary fortune is closer than you think. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that could change your life forever. Not a lottery ticket, not a risky stock tip, but a humble penny, yes, a Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1998 with no mint mark. You might glance at it and think it's just another penny tossed into a jar or lost between couch cushions. But what if I told you that this tiny piece of copper could be worth millions today? Would you believe me, or would you just toss it back into the drawer with the rest of your spare change? This is the story of how ordinary coins from your pocket could transform into extraordinary fortunes, and how you could be holding one without even realizing it. Back in 1998, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, destined to circulate and disappear into the economy. But a rare few were struck without a mint mark, a small, almost invisible detail that turns these coins from everyday currency into priceless treasures for collectors. Now, here's a question for you: how often do you find something worth millions hidden in plain sight? It sounds like a fantasy, right? Yet every year, savvy collectors and careful observers discover coins that turn casual holders into overnight millionaires. The 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare treasures. Think about it. You might have been using a coin from this very year to buy a cup of coffee or to feed the parking meter. But while the cashier sees just a penny, collectors around the world see a golden opportunity. The demand for these error coins is incredible, and the market is thriving. People are willing to pay handsomely for the chance to own a piece of numismatic history. But why is this penny so special? The answer lies in its rarity and the story behind its production. Error coins like this one are not just coins, they're artifacts of chance, the result of human oversight, and those who own them are part of an exclusive club that appreciates their uniqueness. Now, you may be wondering, how do you even know if your coin is one of these rare finds? How do you separate a common penny from one worth a fortune? Well, it starts with careful observation. Examine the coin closely. Look for the absence of the mint mark, check its condition, and compare it to verified examples from trusted sources. It's meticulous work, but the rewards can be life-changing. Imagine the thrill of realizing that a coin you casually picked up decades ago is now worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. Wouldn't that feeling be exhilarating? Let's pause for a moment. Have you ever held something and thought, could this be valuable? Maybe it was a coin, a stamp, or an old collectible tucked away in a drawer. That hesitation, that mix of doubt and excitement, is the exact feeling that coin collectors chase. And here's where the real opportunity lies for you. What if I told you that with the right knowledge, you could turn ordinary coins into extraordinary wealth? How do you sell old rare coins? Where do you find buyers willing to pay top dollar? How do auctions work in the US, and how do you make sure you're getting the maximum value? These are the questions that every coin owner must consider if they want to step into this exciting, high-stakes world. The good news is, selling rare coins doesn't have to be overwhelming. In fact, it can be an exhilarating journey. Imagine receiving a call from an auction house with a verified offer for your 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a figure that could reach into the millions. How would it feel to go from casual coin holder to someone commanding respect and admiration in the collector community? How would it feel to transform what once seemed like pocket change into a ticket to financial freedom? This is not a distant dream, it's happening right now for people who recognize opportunity when they see it, and here's a little secret: the market for these coins is hotter than ever. Collectors are constantly searching for rare finds, and every coin with a story, especially one as dramatic as a missing mint mark, draws attention. Auction shops, online marketplaces, and private collectors are all vying for these rare treasures. Now, I have to ask you, do you want to be the person who misses this chance? Or the one who seizes it and turns a simple penny into a record-breaking sale? Let's talk about strategy. How do you get the most out of selling rare coins in the US? First, authentication is key. Coins must be verified by reputable grading services to ensure buyers trust their value. Next, understanding the market is crucial. When and where to sell can significantly affect the final price. And finally, presentation matters. A well-documented history and pristine condition can turn a simple coin into a highly desirable collectible. Do you see how small actions today can create a financial windfall tomorrow? But here's the twist: this isn't just about money. It's about excitement, discovery, and the thrill of being part of something rare and extraordinary. Every coin carries a story, a little piece of history in your hand. The 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of chance, timing, and the opportunities that exist when you know where to look. And the truth is, there are thousands of coins out there still waiting to be discovered. Could one of them be in your drawer, forgotten in a jar, or tucked into a wallet? Isn't that a question worth asking yourself today? Now, let's circle back. Imagine you decide to take action, authenticate your coin, and place it in the hands of a professional auction. The anticipation builds. Bids come in. Each increment is higher than the last. The room is tense. And finally, the hammer falls. You just sold a 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny for maximum dollars. From pocket change to millions, how incredible is that journey? How thrilling is the knowledge that a coin once overlooked could secure your financial freedom? So, what should you do now? First, don't ignore the coins you already own. Take a moment, inspect them carefully, and ask yourself, could this be a rare find? Second, educate yourself about selling and valuing rare coins. Knowledge is power, and in this market, it translates directly into profit. And third, act decisively. Opportunities like this don't wait, they move fast, and every moment of hesitation could mean a missed fortune. Are you ready to see the potential in your coins? Are you prepared to step into a world where history, chance, and wealth intersect? In the end, the 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that extraordinary value can hide in the most ordinary places, that wealth is often waiting for those who recognize it, and that your financial destiny can be shaped by knowledge, curiosity, and action. So, look in your drawers, examine your change, and ask yourself, could you be holding $1 million coin right now? The answer could be closer than you think. Remember, this isn't just about pennies, it's about potential, opportunity, and the thrill of discovery. Your journey from pocket change to life-changing wealth could start today.